Welcome to the adventure. Zane is here. Brennan's driving. We're going to get Landon. But Zane doesn't know the video idea yet. We haven't told him. He's going to be very disappointed when he finds out what it is.
Yeah, he's just going to want to leave. I always want to leave.
Even more than normal. You just missed the turn.
Yeah, I did, didn't I?
You did. You definitely did.
I did.
Just like when we were on the road trip. Well, there are definitely people here. Okay. Quickly, get out of here. Quickly.
I can do it quickly.
Not
I'm
that
not sure
quickly.
you don't want me to do it quickly.
No, I don't. I probably do not like your definition of quickly.
Do I turn around and then pull back out?
You can just pull into the garage or into the driveway. We will not be here very long. Hopefully.
Where's he going? Where in heck's name did you go?
Hello.
Come back out here. You said we weren't going to be that long. He just hung up on me.
We're in the same flip-flop? Yes, give me flip-flops. Oh, come. Let me put on my onesie.
He said, I'm going to bring the onesie, and I said, I would expect nothing less.
Yeah, I mean, it's comfy, bro.
It looks like he just crashed through his garage.
It does.
Dude.
Oh, maybe he did. Maybe his truck's too big for his garage. I know the feeling.
What?
That's what she said.
Oh my gosh.
I could not. I couldn't leave it.
This is getting worse.
Right.
Oh, wait, Zane, we can tell you the video idea now.
Oh, no.
What's the one thing you hate talking about?
The fact that I have to hang out with you, I don't know.
Whoa!
Oh my gosh!
Boom, roasted.
Okay, we're just going to drop you at home.
Right here.
We're disproving toast today. Okay, so let's lay down the boundaries of how this whole conversation came to be. It started with one very sleepy boy, me. I basically just said toast doesn't exist because you don't actually add anything to it. You just cook the bread more.
No, this doesn't
Hold on,
exist.
hold on. I'm laying down the ground rules. I told Zane. Zane got really mad.
I
really
got
passionate.
extremely upset.
That's why I'm excited because he's gonna get very upset, and we're just gonna laugh.
Stupidity tends to drive me insane.
And yet, brilliance is laughed at.
They laughed at him before he told the truth. No, they hated him. That's
Yes,
the other
they
thing.
hated him before he told the truth. Just because it's unpopular does not make it untrue.
I know. Okay.
I'm not that uncultured. To not a not or not to not a not? That is the question.
I want to die.
And we haven't even started with the annoying part.
Hey, you got new software available.
Don't download it.
Download it.
No.
Download the Peter Griffin mouse cursor.
Anyway,
Buddy
Zane and I
Peter
went
Griffin
through a
mouse.
massive argument once.
Yes.
What was like your main point to make?
My main point is that temperature is not an ingredient.
Exactly.
It is a way to cook something. So if you take bread, I don't care how you cooked it originally. If you take bread and you put it like on a pan, like a cast iron or something with heat or butter, and then it becomes slightly charred or toasted in some way, it becomes toast. That's just how toast works. And if you look up the definition of toast,
Go to the toast wiki.
Sliced bread browned on both sides by exposure
yes.
to radiant heat.
That is a definite. Listen. That is a phenomenon created by people.
Yes.
Definitions
bread.
are created by people.
All right, I'm gonna
So
play
it's-
devil's
it's
advocate
valid.
here. I'm gonna play devil's advocate, and I'm gonna
Who's?
side with the side of toast exists. Let's just say we have something, and if heat isn't an ingredient, then let's take it a step. Let's take it back a step. Bread doesn't exist because bread is just cooked dough.
Oh.
See, I agree with that, but that's just too extreme for the people to accept.
That's fair.
Dough is that's what bread is basically, just cooked dough. But then what happens is you stop cooking it and then you just cook it more. You just stop the process and then you continue it. For everything else, if a tree grows and then you
Let me
cut it
stop
down,
you
you
for a
remove something from
No,
it.
Tyler,
you remove
let me
the
stop
bark and the syrup. You change what it is.
Tyler.
For the bread, it just goes from you just cook it and you cook it more.
If I put a loaf of bread, right, and I have
Yes.
it in like a cast iron pot or something in
Pot.
an oven or whatever, And if you put the dough, right, and you put it in the oven and you bake it, and it starts to rise,
Thank you.
if you leave it in there, then only the outside is going to get slightly more charred. The only way that something can become toast, bread, is if you took it out of the oven and sliced it and then continued to keep cooking it. It's the only way it'll become toast. If you leave it in, it said that sliced bread, toast, can only become toast if it is cooked more slightly on each side. It can't happen like that if it's in
You
the
just
oven.
you cook it more and it gets cooked all the way through, and then you cut it, and then
I have
it's
a
the same
question.
thing.
No, it's
I have a
different.
question from
Why is toast only attributed to bread? Because you can toast a lot of things.
This is true. It's a verb.
Oh my goodness.
The word toast comes from the Latin torere, to burn.
Does it really?
Yes.
Oh,
Okay.
interesting.
So
The first reference to toast in print is a recipe from 1430.
So it doesn't matter how old it is.
Bread
We're
was
talking about
much
the
before.
definition now.
So listen, here's the
But
thing.
bread
Long
was-
before, it would have just been burnt bread. But all of a sudden, oh, it's a new thing. We just cook it more than it's supposed to, and it's not burned anymore.
I feel like that's something that just people are good at. Is just renaming. Because like up until
It's just a renamed thing.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
It's the sequel.
it's.
Well, it's not just renamed because it's different.
I mean, Toy Story 2 and Shrek, the sequels were better.
Hold up, but Tyler, if you weren't to think about it super hard, right, and I took a loaf, if you took a burnt loaf of bread and I handed it to you, would you look at it and say it's toast? No, you'd say it's a burnt loaf of bread and that I should throw it out because that's not how you're
Yes,
gonna
but
eat
if you
bread.
hand me a piece of toast, I wouldn't call it toast.
What would you call it?
Just
Just
call it
bread?
slightly cooked bread.
Slightly
It's
extra.
slightly extra.
Yeah, I know. It's a cooking method. Putting things
But
in
does
heat
it
is a
change
method
what
of
it
cooking.
is?
Yes, it actually can. It's called chemistry and science.
But no.
Putting stuff in heat or under, like, even ice can change the chemical properties of things.
But it doesn't change what it is. On
Yeah.
a molecular struggle, on a molecular struggle, molecular
On a molecular
level,
I've got-
molecular level.
I've got the definition of ingredient.
On a molecular level, everything is constantly changing.
Yeah.
And so you can't say that just because something changes, it changes what it is. Because if you're doing that, you're constantly changing. Your skin cells are dying and rehealing themselves.
Yeah.
This tree is doing whatever the heck it does. I don't know what trees do. Or at least fake trees. It's not a real tree.
Well, okay, I get what you're saying, but there's a difference between the way that everything moves just constantly. Everything
I'm
is
not
always
even
moving.
saying
No,
moving.
just give me a second. Everything is changing, obviously. That wall is different than it was 2 seconds ago. So we found a way to rationalize it to the fact that we don't have to say that that's a different wall. It means that
So basically,
certain
society isn't ready for the truth.
No, that's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying that we found a way to make it so that way we can understand it and not have to make things too complicated. Wood in
Where's
a
your
river.
toaster?
We don't have a toaster.
If you
we
put-
have a
we have a-
we have a microwave.
How do you?
How do you make toast?
We just throw it in the oven.
Or
We
you-
don't make toast. We just cook it more.
No, you don't, Tyler.
Yeah, we don't own a toaster.
And
We just cook it
herein
more.
lies-
Yeah, but you slice it first, don't you?
It comes pre-sliced,
Oh. Oh my.
Well, then
and it's still called bread.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, you wouldn't really call it a loaf of bread though. You'd call it sliced bread.
Oh, it's labeled as a loaf of bread.
Well, they're stupid. Landon, would you agree that if I drop a piece of wood in a river for a month and I pull it back out, it's not the same anymore because the water changed the chemical properties of the wood into driftwood.
Okay, so this is actually a key point in our argument. We use adjectives and other words to describe something better. So if you go to someone and say overcooked bread or cooked bread, they will that is a wide range. That could be completely charred, burnt black,
Yep.
or what we call toast. So let's say someone, using the driftwood analogy, said, go get wood for the fire. And someone is like, okay, driftwood, this is wood. Got a bunch of driftwood, threw it in a fire. What are you doing? This is wrong. And so we use the word toast to more accurately describe overcooked bread. So at a base level, overcooked bread is toast. But we just use the word toast because it's more convenient and easier to say toast than, give me some overcooked bread. Specific details and presentation have to do with what we call a food. So at a baseline, spaghetti bake is just spaghetti. But spaghetti bake is the best way to describe it. So it comes down Yes, you could call it spaghetti.
But technically, it's not its own separate thing. It's just something we've
we
decided.
decided to call something.
Exactly.
But it is different.
In how we view it. So let's say
It's not technically different. It's very much the same
It was
at
cooked
its
differently.
base.
Though. It was cooked differently. It doesn't matter if it's different at its base. At its base, everything is exactly the same.
How far down do you want to go down to the molecular level?
very
Atoms.
very.
We've gone that far.
In that case, let's just call everything atoms.
Looking for more food.
All right, fine.
Cool, we're done. Thank you for coming.